Boop. Boop. Boop.
Hey guys, Sin here, and today we're going to look at the IFVs in Battlefield 4. I was going to work on a squad leading video, but it's proving to be a little more of a challenge than I expected. Instead, a couple of friends and I hopped into a server to test the Infantry Fighting Vehicles. Today we're going to look at the primary weapons, as they're unique to the IFV and not shared with any other vehicle in the game. We tried all three primary weapon ammunitions on both armor and infantry. First, we'll look at how these ammunitions affect armor. The high explosive rounds work much like they did in Battlefield 3, but feel less powerful. This is the default ammunition you'll start with until you unlock the rest. They do 3 damage to armor with a direct hit. Unlike Battlefield 3, you do not gain damage bonuses from hitting the side or rear of the vehicles. These projectiles move slower and drop faster than the other rounds, but their reliable damage versus armor and infantry make them a great general purpose ammunition. The armor-piercing rounds have a higher muzzle velocity and therefore less drop and lead time than the high-explosive rounds, making them more useful at long range. They also deal 4 damage to armor, making them more useful for anti-tank purposes than the other ammunitions available. They do not benefit from critical strikes like they did in Battlefield 3. We found they did 4 damage at all angles. In the last game, if you ran the anti-tank rounds, they were absolutely devastating if you could flank an enemy vehicle and shoot them directly in the rear. I guess those days are long gone. The canister rounds fire tungsten balls like a shotgun and unfortunately deal no damage to armor, but are devastating to infantry. They can, however, destroy cover and blow out walls. While the effects of the IFV ammunition against armor is quite basic, let's not forget what the infantry fighting vehicle was designed for. The effects on infantry were much more interesting than our armor tests. The high explosive rounds can kill infantry in 2 hits at any range, dealing 70 damage per hit. Since they are not very accurate and travel slower than the other rounds, it is not recommended for use at range and benefit more from splash damage than direct hits. In our tests, this damage started at 4 meters from the target soldier and dealt more the closer the round hit. The target will also suffer from massive suppression effects. The armor-piercing rounds can be useful against infantry as well as armor, dealing 77 damage to infantry with a direct hit. Surprisingly, like the HE rounds, the armor-piercing rounds dealt splash damage as well, at half the range, starting at 2 meters. While the damage is minimal, it can mean the difference between a kill and being killed. And last but not least, my personal favorite, the canister shell. This welcome addition to the IFV arsenal is very unlike its tank counterpart. It fires at the same rate of fire as the other rounds and is capable of one-hit kills within 35 meters. Without further testing, I can't tell you how much damage each pellet does, but a few rounds will do at most ranges and the spread forgives poor accuracy. This ammunition can destroy cover, so even if your target ducks, keep firing and you might still get them. My recommendation is to try them all. One single ammunition is not always viable on every map in game mode, so find some combinations of primary weapon, secondary, and optics that suit your playstyle. The high explosive rounds might complement the Zuni rockets for maximum splash damage, where the armor piercing might benefit from the light machine gun as a secondary for anti-infantry purposes. If you guys want to follow up showing some successful loadouts, shout out in the comments and give a thumbs up if you learned something new today. See you guys next time.
62, I'm at 62.
That APC sucks!